Hey guys, it's Dana. And whether you celebrate New Year's or not, one thing that unites us all is that January 1st begins a new calendar year. So I want to talk about in this video how my husband and I plan out our entire year in advance. All right, there was a long time that my husband and I, we didn't really plan too much from year to year. We've been married 13 years now, and we are done having our children. During the baby years, I think it can be really hard to pre-plan everything because you're just trying to get some sleep. You're exhausted, and at least for us, it was really difficult because we were a two-income family, so we were both working. Plus, we, had the kids, but now, as the years go on, things are kind of repetitive to some extent from year to year, so it makes it easier to plan. And we find that planning in advance the whole year through really helps to cut back on the amount of fights that we have as a couple, the amount of confusion, miscommunication, and stress. So we love planning out the year in advance as best we can. Obviously, there's always things that are unknown, things that need to shift here and there, but we plan it out. So let me show you our calendar. I don't like it when my kids are annoyed with me for looking at my phone. I try not to be looking at my phone when I'm around my kids. So that's why I prefer a paper calendar. And basically I've been getting these calendars since 2004. I have all of them. They're just like an 8x11 or something. And it has this little thing to hang it from. I get it at Staples. And so I love these calendars. I like it because I can easily stick it into, it's like a file size, but I can stick it into my work bag. So it comes home with me. It goes to work with me. It goes back and forth. I can stick it in my purse and my mom purse. It'll fit in there. So I like these calendars. They're my fave. And I've been using them for many, many years. But use whatever calendar system works best for you. Obviously, you want it to be something you're going to use and that your partner is going to use and that you guys can be on the same page with. But I like this because I can write on it. I like to cross off the days. I just get really a lot of satisfaction in putting X's through the days. And then also I can easily just erase stuff with pencil and put it back in. All right, so this is what we use, and I get it around November, December, and I get really excited about it. And first thing I do is birthdays. So I take my old calendar and I put in all the birthdays throughout the year, and then I put like their age that they're turning and a little circle around it. So that way I know every year how old they're turning, which is perfect for kids, for nieces and nephews, for your own kids maybe. Sometimes you forget how old your own kids are. I forget how old I am. It's good for me to keep track of how old I am. So I like to put the age next to it. This also works well for anniversaries. So I go through and put in the anniversary, what year, how many years that person's been married or how many years I've been married. Helps me keep track of it year to year. And it's kind of fun to, not as you get older when you're a grown up. You don't like to see your age keep getting higher, but it's kind of neat to see, the progression over the years and to add another number. I like that. So anniversaries are good. Then you can pre-plan if you're going to do gifts, cards, whatever you're going to do. You have it on your calendar, and I like to look, this is the month. I like to look at month to month. So I can look at that month, and then I know what's going on, right? Who's got a birthday, who's got an anniversary. Also, holidays. So obviously holidays probably are on your calendar, maybe not, but certain holidays I don't have off work. I work in the healthcare system, and a lot of holidays we're not closed because you need hospitals, you need doctors, so we're open. But my husband's work is closed for some of them, like President's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we need to know these things because the kids have off school. So we have to have the holidays on there, and then also in the beginning of the year we get the school schedule. So your school will come out with a calendar, what days school's closed at the beginning of the year. So obviously this is starting in January, but throughout the year, the end of that school year, you want to put in there when they're off, so that if you need coverage. So for my husband and I, one of us has to be off work to be with the kids when they're out of school. So we want to have that in our calendar, want it pre-planned the beginning of the year as best we can, who's going to be home with them, so that we can cover that. Along those same lines is camp. So I talked about this in a video over the summer about how in the summer it was a good time to think about camps if your kids are going to need camps, if you need that coverage over the summer, they want to do camps when they're out of school. It's good over the summer to think about it because then you can look at what's going on so that you can plan for the next summer as far as, when registration is, what what weeks they are, what types of activity camps they are, whatever kind of camps you're going to be doing. But a lot of those schedules are out, then over the summer you can look at it. If you didn't do that over the summer, you still can, but some of those schedules might not be out yet until February or March even, as far as when the camps are going to be held. But if you do it year to year, you know which weeks. Like we have 11 weeks over the summer that we need to cover. And certain weeks, like we know there's a tennis camp that we really want the kids to do, and it's 1 week, one specific week over the summer. So we know that week is going to be the tennis camp, and then the other weeks will be filled in with some other, other camps. Plus, obviously, how much they're going to cost so that you can set aside the money that you're going to need for those camps. So pre-planning is your best friend because then that'll really minimize fighting. Also, you can kind of prepare your children. So we just say, hey, you're doing tennis camp this week, as opposed to when summer comes, you say, what do you guys want to do? And then there's fighting maybe about it, or they say, I don't want to do that, Mom. I don't want to go do that. But if you've already prepped them for it and you just set up that expectation, hey, that's what you're doing, then you kind of can brainwash them into it. That's what they're doing for those weeks. So there'll be less arguments, hopefully. Well visits are really important to plan out. Maybe you have to plan them for yourself and your kids. We have 4 kids, and so I have, doctor visits. The dentist has to be seen for cleanings, eye doctor, and so maybe you want to schedule those all on the same day. I haven't found a good system yet that worked. I seem to be doing the girls on one day, me included, and then I take the boys on another day, so I sort of split it. But I think ideally, it'd be better maybe to do it all in one day. But so you have to plan that out to make that happen, because you have to make appointments early to get the time slots you want on the days you want. And then you might have to take off work on those days. So you have to fit it into your work schedule, their school schedule, all that stuff. So appointments, I think, are a great thing to plan in advance. Get them on your calendar early so you have that all ready to go throughout the year. If your kids are in special activities throughout the year, if you have winter activities, summer activities, spring, I don't know, maybe you have soccer in the spring, baseball, all that, you're going to have to plan that out because you probably have practice times. You're going to have to set aside the money to register, or you have tryouts. I mean, there is so much with family. Oh my goodness, so much stuff to plan that it really does make life a lot easier if you have it all scheduled out. If you take the time in the beginning of the year to put that all on your calendar so you know what to budget, when to register, all that good stuff. It's all out on the calendar. Our daughter does Girls on the Run, which is a running program, an after-school program, and then so we have to register early enough to get her into that. So I know we have to set aside that money to get her into it, and then after school she's going to have to be picked up late. So we have that on our calendar. Obviously, communication is a really big deal. If you are doing some kind of digital calendar, then it's easy for you and your partner to, both look at that calendar and, update it as you will. But if you're on a paper calendar, you'll have to find other ways to talk about it. My husband and I, we do an email every day when we're at work. So we're both at work, we're both at our desk, and my husband is hearing impaired. So it works out really well. I can just send him an email, this is what we got going on today or this week even, and then that way we kind of communicate that way. And that seems to be working out well for us. But you want to have a system in place to make sure that you guys are on the same page with your calendar. And obviously talking about it together in the beginning of the year is critical as well, so that you both are in agreement to your calendar, so that those, less fighting. I'm always trying to minimize fighting. Things need to be clear and communicated. That way there's, a happy marriage going on. All right, so if you guys have any questions, then leave them down below in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, or you guys can help each other out like you always do in the comments, which I think is fantastic. If it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe. I'm here every single Tuesday talking all about money, helping you to raise your family on a budget and to be debt-free. Bye. My battery died like 20 times while I was filming this. Oh my gosh, I have more, and I actually have extra battery packs, and I just need to charge them. I have 3 battery packs now, and I haven't been charging them. Ugh.